it's easy for us to think of sample rate as like in the same way that we think of resolution in the camera, right? Like the more pixels or samples you have, the more detail you can resolve in whatever it is you're recording. But hopefully in this video I can show you that that's actually not the case. That sample rate actually has nothing to do with resolution. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a signal generator. We're going to make a 20 kilohertz sine wave. We're going to record that into Pro Tools at 48K. Then we're going to play that sine wave back out, and we're going to look at it on an oscope to see what happens to it after 2 levels of conversion. If my title is clickbait and sample rate actually is resolution, then what we'd expect to see is that this sine wave is going to be degraded in some kind of way. If you're familiar with Nyquist, then you know that as long as you have at least 2 samples per cycle of that waveform, you can reproduce it perfectly. And that's true and misleading at the same time. The truth is, the closer you get to Nyquist, the more you're going to start to see certain types of distortions. I don't know if there's a name for the phenomena, but as these waves get closer to Nyquist and they start going in and out of sync with that fixed frequency, you'll start to see changes in the amplitude. It'll look something like comb filtering. Lucky for us, some really smart guys back in like the 70s figured out that where you actually want to be is about 20% above Nyquist. So if the highest frequency that you're trying to record is 20K, which is the limit of human hearing, then what you'd want to do is take Nyquist of that, which would be 40K, and then go 20% above that. So that's the theory. But what is it in practice? Well, that perfect sine wave I showed earlier, and I kind of misled you, that wasn't the signal to be recorded. That was the signal after having already been recorded into Pro Tools and then played back out and read on the oscope. And as we could see, it's a perfect sine wave at 20K, the limit of human hearing, which actually most people can't hear above 17K once they're adults. If you're recording within the range of human hearing, 48K is going to reproduce that perfectly. The only need for a higher resolution would be if you need to record higher than human hearing, which may be the case. If you're doing sound design, for instance, and you know you're going to stretch this sound out to the point that you drop it in octaves, for instance, you're going to want that extra octave of frequency response to play with. You're also going to want a microphone that can pick up frequencies higher than 20K. There's also a case to be made for running your plugins at a higher internal sample rate, but that's another video. We'll get to that. For now, I'm comfortable saying that 48K can produce the full spectrum of human hearing, and then some. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, if you think that there is a flaw in my testing or something that I missed, and I'll definitely try to add that to the testing criteria next time.